At this point, it's safe to say that Nigeria should stop sending their reps to those kind of mushroom pageants. Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about my post pageant analysis for Miss Aura International. Guys, like seriously, you guys know that we had Miss Aura International finals on Friday, and yes, there was a lot that happened at the pageant, and I just told myself, like, even if I'm angry with some of the things that took place, I just want to set that I just want to set that aside, and focus on the positive side of the pageant no matter what, even if the negatives surpass the positive. But let me talk about the positive sides of the pageant. Guys, you guys remember that I talked about this in my previous video where I talked about Nigeria's preliminary performance. We just had two African countries in this year's pageant, which I would say is very, 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 very low for for a continent with more than 50 countries to have just two reps in that kind of pageant. It tells a lot. It tells a lot. It clearly states that most of the African countries are not really interested in Aura, Miss Aura International Pageant. They're not really interested, and it says a lot because less representation means that the pageant owners or the pageant franchise owners, they are not doing enough. Probably they're not doing much in terms of publicity of the pageant, and probably they are not really being fair enough to the African continent, which I will talk about. Because in fairness, like seriously, just two African countries, is too, like seriously, it's just too little representation for a continent with over 53 countries. But however, the two African countries actually placed in the top 20. At least that I'm happy about. And I would say that going forward, the organizers of this pageant, they should try as much as possible to get good hosts, because the female host, I don't understand her. It's as if she was just forced to compare the whole event, to host the event, like she was forced being there. And I would say that going forward, please, they should try and get interpreters for this pageant, because not all the candidates speak English. So it's so sad that a particular candidate that is trying to express herself in English and can't, and she needs an interpreter. Nobody is there to interpret for her. What if she has something tangible to say? Okay, so I think going forward, this is not only about Aura International. I noticed that some other pageants as well, they hardly get interpreters for countries that those So I think it's high time that they get interpreters for these countries, at least for equal representation's sake. Okay, all right. So with that being said, the whole show was kind of like was kind of rushed, because I noticed that they were doing adverts, and the adverts most times eats into the pageant itself. So most times when they finish the advert, the pageant must have started, and they cannot, and we have missed on some of the some of the events. Okay, so I noticed that when they were calling the top 20, or rather the top 11, I think the top 11, they didn't even call up the top 11. Whether they did this backstage, I don't even understand, because when they called the top 20, they came out in swimsuit, and they now cut down from top 20 to top 11. And when they were calling top 11, they did not show that part. So I don't understand these organizers. Like, how did they call up the top 11? I just saw them coming out in their evening wear. They were not. There was never a time that they called out the top 11 from the top 20. So how was it that it was cut out or something? Because I watched the entire show, and I didn't get to see where they called the top 11. So please, the organizers of this pageant, I think you should try as much as possible to be organized. To be able to show all the segments. Okay, because you leave with the audience surprised. You leave us like trying to fathom what is happening in the pageant, because it was very surprising for me that they didn't get to call the top 11, and I just saw the ladies coming out in the evening wear. It doesn't really make sense. Okay, so I think going forward, they should try as much as possible to make sure that they showcase each and every part of the show. So now top 20 were called, and of course Nigeria made it and Namibia made it. Of course, the two African countries, like I said, made it. Joining them, it was Brazil, Canada, Colombia, Czech Republic, Germany, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Kosovo, Kyrgyzstan. Like seriously, it's like they always give credence to these countries, these Kyrgyzstan countries, Kazakhstan, and the rest. All right. So Latvia also made it. Philippines, Poland, Romania, Russia, Tatarstan. Like which country is Tatarstan? Please, you guys should enlighten me. I don't know most of these countries that we're calling. No. Thailand, Turkey, and finally Venezuela. Okay, so this was the top 20 that made it into that made it into the semi-finals. Okay, so now going sorry, when we were calling top 11, I did not know. So guys, is don't blame me because I don't have the I don't have the list of countries for the top 11, but that was where I just lost it. I was like, I was angry. I did not follow up with it anymore because Nigeria did not make it to the top 11, and I was like, why did Nigeria not make it to top 11? Because I knew that Messi deserved to be in the top 11, but she was not called to she was not called up, and it was so sad. And I saw a lot of chats, a lot of Nigerians in the comment section. They were really angry that Nigeria don't make it to the top 11. But all the same, after the whole, after the evening wear competition, in which the top 11 competed in, they streamlined to top five. Okay, so from the top five, we had in top five. I think they asked them, the Q and A. They asked the top five questions. That was when they got into the question and answer round. Okay, after the question and answer round, finally they called up the results. Okay, so I think that the judges, I think they had, they didn't even have enough time to even judge the whole pageant because most of the things they were doing, it's like the adverts that they posted was trying to cover up most of the events that took place. Okay, so eventually Philippines won the pageant again. Like seriously, Philippines, what is happening? They've gotten Echo International, they've gotten Ara International. So I don't know, Philippines at this point, they are coming in strong this year. You guys in Philippines is the powerhouse already, but this year they've gotten three major crowns, I think, three major international crowns. And I must say that Philippines is a force to be reckoned with in this year's pageant. So in this year's pageant year. So let's see, they've taken three crowns, like I mentioned. Probably, I don't know what's going to happen in the next pageant, but Philippines, they're coming in strong this year. Finally, there's good news for Nigeria because for the first time they had a particular award called the Peace Arab Peace Ambassador, and it was won by Nigeria, which of course a lot of persons were happy about, but at least Nigeria got something because she was very, very, very hardworking. Going to this competition, Nigeria was really, really bent on, getting the crown. But, she was compensated, I would say, with this Arab Peace Ambassador Award. And I would say congratulations to Messi Babajide. I feel like, your hard work paid at the end of the day. All right. So yeah, I would say that going forward, I think the organizers of this pageant, they should try as much as possible to do better, in terms of the production, in terms of the judging format, in terms of just the broadcasting of the whole show. Because there's some errors, there's some things that I noticed, in this pageant, which of course makes it low budget. Okay, so I think going forward, the organizers of this pageant should try as much as possible to do better in the coming years. So far, I would say that kudos to Nigeria. She did very well. She did us proud, and at least she got the Arab Peace Ambassador Award. That is no easy feat. Okay, so I would say at least Nigeria won something. Okay, all right, guys, we come to the end of this video. If you like this content or if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you all in my next video coming up very soon. Bye.